The sport of slamball had it all. Jaw-dropping dunks.
Here comes Gordon on the bonus attempt. Here comes Bird again.
Insane hits.
The big sandwich. Gravity-defying slams.
Oh! Now that's a pop. Mason's doing well in Beast. Holy smokes.
Gravity-defying blocks.
Shot clock at 3.
It was and is truly a sport that looks like a video game. A sport that is basically a non-stop highlight reel, and on top of this, the coach of the first ever Slamball champions was none other than the man, the real-life Coach Carter himself. Yes, when it comes down to it, Slamball had it all. It was an electrifying sport that skyrocketed in popularity in 2002, but then somehow by the year 2008, Slamball was gone, which begs the question, when you have plays like this,
Somebody give me a replay. That was incredible.
with this amount of hype,
He got launched like a boomerang.
well then, how can you fail? What went wrong with Slamball? So what's up guys, Mike here, and yes, today we are talking about Slamball, the most hype sport I think I have ever seen. Seriously, just watching highlights while making this video, I kept literally yelling from some of the plays I was seeing. That is how cool I think Slamball was, and I'm sure after just watching a few highlights, you agree with me. That again though brings up the question, why is Slamball not around today in the United States? And you may be thinking, understandably, that injuries brought down Slamball, but no, that was actually not the reason. Somehow, as you're about to see, things actually went much deeper than that. With that said, to start off this video, I think it is very important to showcase the rules of Slamball. And because it's Slamball, we are going to do this in the most hype way possible. So to begin,
some basketball rules apply, but Slamball is played 4-on-4 with trampolines built into the court. Players soar from 15 feet away from the basket to attack the rim. Worth 3 points, slams are the name of the game.
yes, as we can see, dunks were worth 3 points while every other shot was worth just 2, which was awesome. This sport incentivized getting to the rim. It incentivized trying to dunk on your opponent's face. AKA, Slamball gave the most points for the biggest highlight plays, which was one of the biggest reasons why it skyrocketed in popularity almost right away. Continuing on here,
But on any shot from the tramps, goaltending is legal. Like hockey, head-on contact is fast, fierce, and fair game.
to make Slamball even crazier, yes, hitting was allowed, except you would get a penalty if you hit someone in the back or if they were jumping into the trampolines. And before we continue guys, I want to say thank you to the Flick Sports app for sponsoring today's video. And if you didn't know, Flick is a free to download app that is giving away a $2,000 jackpot this week, which is awesome because Flick is also the best place for diehard sports fans. It's a place where we can come together to chat, watch the game, make predictions, and compete against each other in contests. And speaking of contests, I am hosting the NBA All-Stars group on Flick, and I am challenging you to go head-to-head with me for the Lakers-Nets game tomorrow. In that head-to-head competition, again, you are going to get the chance to win $2,000. $2,000, that is a lot of money. And guys, remember, your correct predictions are going to put you on the All-Star leaderboard where you can win a shout-out in one of my videos or an NBA jersey mailed by me to you. So really guys, what are you waiting for? You can win $2,000, an NBA jersey, or a shout out in one of my videos. All you have to do is click the link in my description, download Flick, and get your picks in, and then you're gonna have a chance to win big time. Now, what's amazing about this is if you did get a penalty,
Hit someone in the back or when they're jumping into the tramps, and it's time for a face-off. A one-on-one penalty shot where courage, skill, and revenge play equal parts.
yup, Slamball had one-on-one face-offs to settle fouls. What more could you possibly want, honestly? Finishing up with the rules, what this video did not mention was that each game had 4 5-minute quarters and that there were also 3 positions in Slamball. Each team of 4 players had 1 handler who was kind of like a point guard, 2 gunners who were expected to score the most, and a stopper, the one man who stayed back on defense and challenged everyone at the rim, aka the guy who makes insane blocks or the man who gets put on a poster. monster. And so with these rules, with this kind of action, you have to imagine that Slamball was an immediate success, and basically it was. As co-founder Mason Gordon so rightfully put it, quote, Slamball really began with this idea of creating a sport that was like a real-life human video game, which perfectly describes Slamball in my opinion. And with this rough idea in mind, Mason Gordon went to movie and television producer Mike Tolan, and together the two brought the idea to Spike TV in a unique way. Because sensing the potential of his idea, Gordon would go all in, and from a pool of over 500 players, he decided on 5 with athletic backgrounds to form the first ever Slamball exhibition game. This game would take place between the Los Angeles Rumble and the Chicago Mob, and originally, the 6 players trained for months in the first ever Slamball court, which was made in a warehouse. And guys, trust me when I say this first court was both basic and dangerous. Originally, the warehouse just had a basket and a single trampoline, and
at one point, I think one of the players actually fell through the floor.
Luckily, this man was somehow perfectly okay, and as time went on, Slamball would evolve more and more, and by the time Gordon showcased his game to Spike TV, Slamball had become what we see today, which is why it should be no shock that the exhibition went so well that Gordon remembers, quote,
once they saw this thing on a full court, they brought in some television people. Here was this fully developed underground sport that was ready for the video game generation. We went from just this goofy idea on a napkin to a national broadcast deal 18 months later.
And really, with Slamball, you have to imagine that Spike TV thought they had just won the lottery, as Slamball had a legitimate shot at becoming a new sport in the United States. Basically, anyone who watched Slamball wanted to watch more of it, and if we fast forward to the game finally airing on television, we find that season 1 on Spike TV was a smashing success. The league's first season featured 6 teams: the Rumble, Diablos, Bouncers, Steel, Mob, and Slashers, and the champions were the Rumble, who were coached by Coach Carter. An awesome way to finish a season 1 that really featured it all, because players now had developed new types of tricks, which meant on top of the vicious hits and the near rim-breaking dunks, we saw guys make 300 IQ plays like passing the ball off of the trampolines to themselves or passing the ball off the backboard, whatever it took to get an edge. Then came season 2, and it was at this point that the hype had grown to another level. Season 2 brought Slamball 2 new teams in the Bandits and the Riders, and it also brought in more star power. Get this, the Riders were actually coached by former NBA All-Star Xavier McDaniel, which meant Slamball had taken yet another step into the mainstream, and with everything I just mentioned combined, Slamball pulled in ratings that really did not seem possible. In their season 2 debut, Slamball had 2.3 million viewers. In their target demographic, males aged between 18 and 34, they had just 2.9% less viewers than a Saturday baseball game aired on Fox between the Cardinals and the Mets. Again, Slamball was airing on Spike TV, a channel that many people did not have, but still, the sport was competing with an MLB game aired on Fox. It seemed like at this point the future was bright, and it was only going to get brighter. And to be fair, as season 2 went on, Slamball did continue to pull in numbers and was a brief national sensation. Fans were more than drawn to the incredible highlights produced on a minute-by-minute basis, and suddenly, Slamball was featured all over SportsCenter. It was shown on The Tonight Show. A story was written about it in the New York Times. It was everywhere, and it was at this moment in time that it really did seem like Slamball was destined to succeed in a huge way. However, a disagreement in where to take the sport in the future would change everything. Because, like I mentioned before, you might think that injuries would eventually kill off Slamball. And sure, there were some bad injuries. If you want to search those yourselves, feel free. I can't really show them to you because I might literally get age restricted. That is how bad at least one specific injury was. So yes, there were some bad injuries, but nothing too extreme happened to actually derail Slamball. The real problem came when the television networks attempted to push Slamball in the direction of the Globetrotters or wrestling. Listen to this quote from Mason Gordon, who said, "The ratings were great, but ultimately they wanted to go in directions we weren't totally comfortable with. We didn't see Slamball as a packaged entertainment product like the Harlem Globetrotters or professional wrestling. We saw Slamball as a legitimate sport," which I understand. At the end of the day, Mason viewed Slamball as a real sport. He didn't want to create the WWE of basketball. He wanted a real league where the winners weren't predetermined, and instead champions were made in real time. If I were him, I would have wanted that too. At the end of the day, Slamball was Mason's baby, and he was going to have the final say in what direction Slamball took. Unfortunately though, this difference in opinion would have some serious consequences. Because he did not agree with what the television studios wanted, Mason would have to shut down the doors of Slamball and had to take the sport away from the national spotlight with a promise to retool it. This led to another broadcasted season in 2008, 5 years later, and the league tried. They tried to regain the popularity that they once had. They added even more star power in former NBA All-Stars Kenny Anderson and John Starks as coaches. However, for whatever reason, things just did not work. People just were not as interested. And maybe what Mason did not realize was that the same reason why Slamball originally skyrocketed in popularity was also the main reason for its downfall. That people may have seen Slamball as kind of a novelty. And it is here where I want to give my personal opinion. I think Slamball potentially being a novelty brings us to a bigger problem. A problem that really Slamball could not simply fix just based on what the sport was. Kind of a novelty. Now, hear me out here. The idea of Slamball was and is an electric idea, and the actual games, they are amazing. I'm sure every single person that is watching this video right now would gladly turn on their television and watch a Slamball game right now. And in my opinion, watching a Slamball game will always be entertaining. The problem comes, however, with the players who are actually playing the game. Because in order for a sport to really grow, in order for a sport to compete with the other top sports in the world today, that sport needs what every other sport has. Household names, household personalities to build the sport around. And the problem with Slamball is that at the end of the day here, the Slamball players were basically guys who were not good enough to go pro in the NBA or the NFL, which meant Slamball was not getting the best possible talent or personalities to take their sport to the next level. This also meant that while people loved to watch a single game of Slamball because it looked awesome, those same people watching did not necessarily become full-time fans, as they did not attach themselves to a single team or a single player. This meant that when the sport attempted to return in 2008, after 5 years, the fan loyalty was just not there. And because of this lack of fan loyalty, Slamball did fail after that one season. They did not return for 2009. Which brings us to today. There have been several attempts to bring Slamball back in the previous few years. Recently, Slamball has been attempted to be rebooted in China, but it has yet to regain or even come close to the following it once had. That doesn't mean Mason Gordon has given up though. He has actually been quoted as saying about Slamball, quote, "It's the thing that people point to and go, that should have been a lot bigger than it was." And maybe he's right. Again, as I have said several times throughout this video, I think Slamball is awesome. Watching these clips is awesome. Watching a Slamball game is awesome. Everything about this sport is electrifying, and personally, I would love to see a Slamball resurgence because who wouldn't? So there we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember, if you want to enter to win $2,000, go download Flick in the description below. And also, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, well then subscribe for more basketball content like this. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.